It's ever shifting, it's ever evolving. However, there is always an intention behind it.
This is the Deep Dive with Adam Roa.
Yo, what up, Deep Divers? Thank you for joining me for another episode of the Deep Dive podcast. This is a musing podcast. That means that it's just you and me. We're going to dive into something that's really relevant for me right now, and I think could be really useful to you, which is my approach to using my diet and specifically what I'm eating as a tool to achieve my dreams. Right? A tool to manifest what I want, to become a match to that. And that is relevant because that came up in my morning meditation, and my diet is changing as of like an hour ago. And so I figure I'll just share this, and because it's kind of a behind the scenes look at how I approach life in general that has worked for me really well, and I think could be really useful for you. Before doing that, I want to let you know about my 5 days of dating yourself journey that I've created. It's completely free. Basically, simply put, you're in a relationship with yourself. And your self-love, the amount of self-love you feel for yourself, is the result of that relationship. And if you want to feel more self-love, then you get to deepen that relationship. Okay? And you get to date yourself, essentially. And so I created a 5-day journey. You can go to my website, adamroa.com, or you can go to love.adamroa.com and sign up for it. You're going to get an email every day for the next 5 days with a video and an exercise that you can do in under 10 minutes to deepen that relationship with yourself. And as a result, increase the amount of self-love you have. And as a result of that, everything gets better. So head over to love.adamroa.com to join that journey. And today's topic, the diet, using the diet as an actual tool to become a match to your dreams. And this is how I view this, okay? I think that your dream, whatever it is, whatever you want to manifest, whatever vision you have for your life, that dream is already in existence. It's already out there, and it's simply about you becoming a match to it. And you becoming a match to it means what is your internal vibration? What is your internal frequency? What's going on inside of yourself? And that frequency is a result of the alchemy of everything you are doing, everything you are inputting, everything you are outputting. It is incredibly complex and nuanced. And one huge factor is what you're putting into your system. And specifically with food, your food is becoming you. Like what you're putting into your body as you're eating it becomes the cells of your body. Right? That is the fuel upon which your entire system is built. And so what you're eating is going to directly impact what your vibration is. And just like if you put in apple juice into your gasoline tank in your car, it's probably not going to go so well. Similarly, if you put in high quality gas, like really high quality gas, you're going to see a difference. And so for me, it goes beyond just the quality of the food. It goes into what I'm eating. I am not a vegan. I'm not vegetarian. I eat meat, and I also go through periods where I don't. And sometimes I'll go through periods where I'll only eat fish, or sometimes I'll go through periods where I cut out sugar completely and go pretty hardcore and strict. And it's not just about health for me. It's not just a matter of health, because I do think that there isn't one diet that works for everyone. I think it's going to be based off of you and your lineage and your own upbringing and all of that. And it's also something where I think it changes. Like to me, I view diet similar to how I view exercise, that switching it up is actually good for the system. Your system can become complacent over time. And so how do I decide when to switch it up is by a deep listening process, right? That's a foundation. If you've been listening to this podcast, you know I'm a regular meditator. I'm listening deeply to my intuition and what's going on inside myself and what I feel like kind of these directions that I might receive from my higher self are. And this morning, I got a very clear direction. It's time to stop eating meat, or at the very least, cut it back significantly to maybe like once a week. And this is coming on the heels of, I was just in South Africa recently, and it's funny because while I was there, it was a lot of meat. I was there with my friend's family, the local cuisine and everything. There's just a lot of meat everywhere. And I was not vegetarian or vegan when I was in South Africa or leading up to it. So I was like, okay. And then I just started eating more. And I find that meat for me is incredibly grounding. And I've been in a period of deep healing, so to speak, with my body and my confidence, as you know, having gone through this breakup and getting kind of to these last legs, I feel like, of untethering, has been remarkable to see different aspects of myself and my personality and things coming to the surface. And the meat is grounding. I feel like it brings me into my body. I feel like it gives me, there's like a fire inside of me that gets lit when I'm eating meat. I want to work out more. I feel more like go get it, masculine energy. That's how I feel when I am eating more meat. And that coincided with me creating a lot. I mentioned at the beginning of this podcast having created this 5-day challenge. I'm launching a video course actually in the next week, all about self-love. And so all of these things that I've been doing have wanted a fire inside. And so I've been using my diet in that way to actually light up this fire internally and use that masculine energy to get a bunch of stuff done. And that's coming to a conclusion. That period of time is ending. And so now I'm finding myself wanting to feel more deeply spiritually connected, feeling a little bit lighter, feeling like I can go deeper in my meditations, for example. And when I was meditating this morning, it felt a little crunchy, a little less connected in that way. And the message that came through was, it's time to stop eating meat. Because when I go through periods of veganism or vegetarianism, I feel lighter. I feel a little bit more airy. I feel more deeply spiritually connected in that way, specifically, where I'm like in the astral and I feel like I'm getting these downloads from wherever they come from. And it feels like the next period of time is calling for that. And so for me to become a match to creative ideas and inspiration and that aspect of my life, apparently, it feels like it's time to switch the diet up, become a little lighter, become more of a match in that way. And so that's what I'm going to do as of an hour ago. And I wanted to share this perspective because I do get a lot of questions about diet and how I eat or what I eat and when I eat it and that sort of thing. And this is an insight into that. It's ever shifting, it's ever evolving. However, there is always an intention behind it. There's always an understanding of how it's impacting me internally and how I can use that as a tool to become a match to what I want for whatever the chapter is. And so for you, you get to be a match to that. You get to be a match to your dreams, you get to be a match to your vision, and your diet is a huge contributing factor in that process. And so my hope is that this podcast will be an encouragement to you to be a bit more intentional in perhaps a different way than you've ever thought of before. And if you're someone who's had the same diet for a really long time and you just kind of feel like there's a way to adjust and up level, well then give it a shot. Give it a shot. Change something up, even something small, and just pay really close attention to the shifts that happen internally as a result. I want to thank you so much for listening to this or watching this if you're watching on YouTube. And if this has been of value to you, please head over to iTunes, subscribe, and leave a review. It really helps. It makes a big difference. If you're listening on Spotify, please make sure you hit the follow. I am so grateful for all of you, and want to remind you that always, in all ways, you are seen, you are heard, and you are loved.